People always ask, do I need a coach or do I need a therapist? And the answer could be both or neither, or you could be choosing. The way that I like to differentiate is to think about, first of all, what is the purpose of this intervention? So if you're wanting to work through something that happened in your past, then therapy is the obvious choice. Therapists are skilled at helping you to work through trauma, helping you to find a resolution, and then helping you to move forward. Equally, if you have got something on the DSM-5, generalized anxiety disorder, bipolar, even anxiety, therapy is really beneficial. And we know there are lots of different types of therapy. I know, for example, that I have suffered from anxiety, I've suffered from depression in the past, and I really liked CBT and solutions-focused therapy. I found they really worked for me. And they do have some things in common with coaching. So it's no surprise I love coaching too. So you're thinking about that purpose. So really, if you're wanting to go into the past, if you're wanting to find a resolution to something that's happened, before you can move forward, therapy is great. And from a brain point of view, what is happening there is you are looking at neural pathways that exist and you're wanting to dismantle and rebuild. So you're really rewiring the brain. And you're doing the same in coaching, but it's a different way. So in terms of coaching, this isn't to do with any mental illness. So I always say to people, if somebody comes to you and they want to talk about trauma, they want to talk about the relationship with their parents, they want to talk about a situation that happened to them, they express that they're suffering from depression or anxiety, and they want coaching as to help them with that solution, it's not the right intervention. What could have happened is they could have worked with a therapist on this, and then they're wanting coaching for that forward motion. So coaching is really about supporting you professionally and personally to thrive. That really links into the ICF, the International Coaching Federation's definition. So what we're looking at there is grounded in the present, building to the future. And you are still building new neural pathways or strengthening synaptic relationships between neurons. So I always see coaching, it's like building new. Therapy, it might be like making sense of the past before we build. So again, if you're thinking about it, coaching, it might be, you might be at a career crossroads. You might be needing to make a decision. You might be wanting help with your relationship. You might be, you might be okay in positive psychology terms. We might say you might be languishing even, and you want to thrive. That language, which is from positive psychology, is really interesting language in terms of coaching, because the British Psychological Society found that if you were languishing, so if we're thinking about, the spectrum of how you're feeling mentally and your well-being, if we're thinking like 0 is okay, and we can go to -5 and to +5. Languishing would probably be about a -1. The British Psychological Society have found that people in that area between about -1 and 0, if they had coaching, it was as successful as therapy in terms of mental well-being. But I think if we're getting anywhere below -1, that's really about a therapeutic intervention. So as coaches, we need to make sure that we are doing the right contracting. We're really finding out what our clients want and need, and we're really clear on our boundaries. There are lots of people who are now trauma-informed coaches, and whilst I welcome this, it does make me think, how versed are they in trauma? If we're thinking about training, a therapist, a psychotherapist has 3 years. A coach, it can be 6 months. We have a 4-month and an 8-month course. So that, and that gets very effective coaches, but they don't have that skill. And for me, if you're working with trauma, I'd want someone who's got that experience, because it's my brain, and our brains are so important. So having the formal training as a therapist or a coach as well means that you can decipher the difference. So again, you can be clear on boundaries, clear on referrals, but coaching is much more, how do we help people personally and professionally thrive from a space where they are okay? And actually, sometimes in coaching, our clients are already thriving, but maybe there's an area of their life they need more focus. Maybe they want to think about how they can make it sustainable. Maybe they're making a big decision about their next career, their business, their retirement. Usually as well, there's a differentiation between the length of support. So therapy can be an ongoing support, and most people or many people have therapy as a regular weekly appointment. But coaching isn't, we don't have to have coaching weekly. And coaching can be for a period of time. Maybe it's navigating your next career move, maybe it's making a decision. And we might have coaching once every 2 weeks, once a month. So you're really thinking type of intervention that is appropriate for the problem and the purpose that you're doing it. Is it about looking at the past, or is it more grounded in the present, looking to the future? And what does that relationship look like? And then whichever one you choose, look for accredited professionals, people who've got the training so that they're able to support you in that area. So I'd love to know any questions you have about how do I then choose who to go with? And remember that some people are dual trained, so they might be therapists and coaches. Now, in that, they need to really clearly contract with what they're offering you. And equally, you might be seeing a therapist and a coach at the same time. As long as you disclose that, that's absolutely okay.